I want to tell you a little bit about how we work with people. And this process has evolved. I get asked all the time, hey, why do you give away your strategy if you're so good? Why not just keep it yourself? Why not just make $1 billion? First of all, if you're one of those parents who tell their kids not to share their toys, shame on you. But seriously, the honest answer is that after trading for 40, 45 years, it's that I only started coaching people on how to trade about 6 years ago. Now, I used to be a CEO in a Wall Street company for about 10 years before I started my first hedge fund. So I worked in the industry for a long time and would crush me to hear all the stupid mistakes that people were making. The reality is, if people are investing, most people just have absolutely no idea what their actual return is. They want their money to grow, but they don't even know enough about what is going on overall to determine if there's a better option for them. But I would indulge anyway. I love helping people. And so I'd give them my best advice based on what they did know about their finances. They would take the advice and thank me for it. And some would use it. But I tell you, most of the time, people just don't use it. Until I met a guy named David King, who's now a good friend of mine. Now, David was insistent and had me actually teach him how I do the trading in my hedge fund. He was like, I'll be a great student. Wouldn't you know, with some actual effort, commitment, he got a great result. Now, he was really humble because he was like, teach me everything. And that changed everything for him. It helped him and his family. Now it's helping other people not only change their lives, but their family lives. Lots of people have had bad experience with financial advisors, or they've been kicked in the pants by the stock market. Within a few years, when I met David, he was talking about getting a $2 million yacht. So I started helping more friends and family until I opened this thing up to the public. And I tell you what, I love doing it. I get to share my life's work. And that's how I figured out not just what trading strategy I should teach people, but how to teach them. That's the process we take you through if you're a good fit. We look for people who have built a decent nest egg, and maybe they're working full-time for retirement, or they've got some kind of part-time income, or maybe they're already in retirement. Some have sold businesses, they've retired early, and they just want to live off their investments so that they have real financial freedom. Others, well, they're doctors or pilots who are trading their time for money, right? Sound familiar? And they want their money to work for them so that they can stop working weekends. Like Larry, for example. He's a radiologist who quit being on call at the hospital, and he got back from a safari in Africa just a couple of weeks ago. And some people are actually trading for years outside of their job, but they can't see how to escape the constant trial and error of the 9 to 5, and they can't see how to escape the lousy returns they're getting on, and they don't know how to count on the returns they're getting. We want people who are looking for results now, and we don't want more trial and error. If that's you, the group of people that you're going to be learning with are just like yourself, but at different stages of their trading journey. If you're just getting started with us, others have already started making big changes in their lives. They're traveling more. They're golfing more regularly. My friend Len is in Europe right now. My friend Ian, he just moved his family to Costa Rica. So honestly, at this stage in their lives, they should be spending more time with their family or doing the things that they love to do, because we're not getting any younger. And so this mentorship is designed to make your life easier, not harder. It's usually the case when you learn something new. It's hard before it's easy. And so I could just give you a coaching program where I give you a couple of videos and then go off and you watch them. I'm going to help you get on your first trades. And if you're stuck, I'm going to be there to walk you through it. And I'm going to give you the confidence so that you can learn it and trade correctly. And that's the beauty of my trading system. More about that in a second. I don't know how many times that I've actually found people where they actually made the mistake and I prevented them from making big mistakes to the downside. So that's part of my responsibility over the results that I want to have for you, because I want to take the stress off of you. We get on our calls together every week and we share what we're doing. I break down the markets and I break down the stocks that everybody's invested in. That's another reason I teach this system. There's only about a half a dozen stocks at any given time that work really well with the strategy. You're not having to look for new ones all the time. You're not having to watch to see what the economy is doing, or the Fed's doing, or worrying about Elon Musk tweeting the wrong thing. And you don't have to be able to read charts to trade this. We're not gamblers and we're not day traders. You have a life and I have a life, and most weeks you just have to update your position every Friday. Sometimes you do it once a month. And there's a reason that I trade this strategy. So I want you to think of it like as collecting rent on a stock position. You're not going to have to be worried about entry points and exit points. You don't have to worry about timing stocks or researching what the stock is going to be the next gold mine or just fool's gold. For every person that I've helped make a quick buck, there's a meme stock on GameStop or AMC and they've gotten behind. And that's not how you build long-term wealth. You don't catch the latest thing. You need a trading system that can actually make you money today, tomorrow, the next day, and every day into the future. And you've got to be able to adapt to any kind of market without having to stress about what the market's going to do. And that's what I teach. So that begs another question that I get a lot. When are people not successful with this system? Or why would you not get a good return or a good result from our program? The reason people get a result with the way I trade and we trade here is that I've made a science of it. And I've taken all the arrows for you. I've spent over $2 million of my own money to get this system right. And every time I make a mistake, I come up with a rule. And then I test those rules. I've done this in the past. I tested them all the time. I tested them in all these different market cycles with different stocks, different variations of each rule. And over the years, some rules got thrown out and some rules I kept until I ended with just the system that works and the rules that work. And I want to maximize the potential profit while protecting loss. That's the smart thing to do. So that's key, not losing money. You know, Jesse Livermore, probably one of the greatest traders of all time. He made and lost $5 billion in today's money 5 times. And he says, wins take care of themselves, losses never do. Which leads me to the first reason that people don't make money with my system. They want to reinvent the rules. And so you get the system, you spend money to be a part of it. The system is really easy to learn. You're going to be making money within a month and you'll feel confident by the 3rd month. But that's the problem. People think they know it. They can go on and try different rules to make it better. And then they get more aggressive with it or start ignoring some of the first principles that are meant to protect you. And they start using their money to make the mistakes that I've already made. It's crazy. You might feel compelled to do the same. And I tell you not to. I always warn against it. It's your money. It's your right to lose it. And I hate to see you lose it. And it doesn't happen to everyone, but you know, curiosity kind of gets the best of you. And it's not until you touch the stove that you realize that it's hot. So that's the first one. That's why people will lose a little money or don't meet their goals right away. But the system is designed to protect you. Like you'll hear me talking about this all the time. And if you follow the system, your risk is always hedged and you'll lose a small amount when you do lose. So if you want the best results, stick to the freaking system, guys. I'm telling you. And if you're already competent at trading, but you must be here for a reason, you might feel like you're bowling a little bit with bumpers, but those rules, those bumpers are there to protect you. So you're only making things more difficult for yourself if you stray from them. And the other reason is that people drop off. They come in excited to make money, create a new income stream, open new doors for themselves financially, but then life gets in the way. And I get it, but the whole thing is purposely designed to not be a consuming system. It just takes commitment to learn it. You can expect it to take no more than, I would say conservatively, like an hour a week, more like 20 minutes a week. But if you don't trade with us, you don't trade this way, you don't make money. And I can't control that. So we've set up our program so that all the resources that you have are in there to be successful. We even have a community to help you become engaged and stay engaged and get excited about it and realize that it's not just about the money. But they also help you realize that you got to stick with it. Our program is built on its reputation. So we're not going to take you on if we don't think you're going to get a good result. Part of that result is commitment. That's why we built the process for our mentorship. Our program is not designed to teach you my system. It's designed to get you making money with my system consistently. And if we think this system is right for you, you know, this system has really changed lots of lives. And I've seen it. I'm helping them create more disposable income than they've ever had, freeing up time that they can be spending doing lots of other things that they love. I mean, just think about the things that you don't spend enough time doing that you wish you could do more. And I'll bet if you had a source of some very passive income, you might think about how you're spending your time differently. So let's say that you want to make $15,000 a month on your investment. It's like, okay, we can look at what you need to start with, make that work. We want to meet your goal of helping you retire early, if that's your goal. Or we want to change your spending if you're already retired. This all gives us a feel for how conservative or aggressive that you're going to be as a trader. And our system has ways of achieving faster or steadier growth. The main thing is built around not losing money. So this isn't day trading. It's not Forex. It's not swing trading. We're actually going to teach you a full system to be confident in the kind of trading that we're doing and how it works. That way you'll come in with the right attitude and the right perspective, and that's how you're going to get a result. So thanks for going through the process. I know that your time is valuable. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to talk to you soon. Thank you so much for being here so far, and I hope we can help you and meet down the road. Take care.